To all the real ones tuning in at the beginning of the show, welcome into Steelers Talk Live here on a Wednesday. Welcome into the show, man. We got some great Steelers content coming your way here over the next hour and a half or so. Starting with, we're going to do a new segment here on Steelers Talk. It's called Buy, Sell, or Hold. I'm going to be going over the latest Steelers rumors. I'm going to tell you whether to buy that stock, sell that stock, or hold it for now. And then also I've got 8 surprise Steelers cut candidates that I'm going to be breaking down on the show later on. And then also in between segments today, we've got the Steelers Talk Live Q&A, that mailbag. So if you want to get on the show, here's how you do that. You get into the chat right now, use hashtag Steelers, or use Super Chat to get in on today's show. So really, that's what you got to do. Hashtag Steelers, along with your question, or you Super Chat, any dollar amount, and we'll put you right at the top of today's mailbag. And I really do appreciate all the support, all the people that get those questions in there. I cannot wait to see what kind of questions you have cooked up for me today. Now, let's bring in our producer here, Mr. Jeremy Chuggs. He is back.
Here we go, Steelers. Here we go.
Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. All right, Jeremy, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm feeling fantastic. How are we doing today? Spare dog?
I'm doing great. We had a very successful first watch party last Friday night. Big shout out to everybody, all the real ones that showed up for that preseason game. It was a night to remember. Of course, the Steelers have a preseason matchup this weekend, this Saturday, against the Buffalo Bills. Now, who was the Steelers QB when you became a fan? Now, for me, it was definitely Big Ben. My generation is definitely the Big Ben Roethlisberger generation.
So, not everybody in the chat might know. My mom is actually a huge Steelers fan.
Oh, yeah? She's a true Yinzer?
Her favorite team, Pittsburgh Steelers.
So she grew up as a Terry Bradshaw girly?
Bradshaw, she loves some Big Ben. I'm not even kidding. Me and my brother, whenever I was in middle school, for her birthday, got her a Big Ben jersey.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
She still has it to this day.
That's nice, man. That's a good thing to do for your mom, man.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if she's a Steelers fan. All right, man.
I was about to say, I remember watching that Steelers-Cardinals Super Bowl. She was pumped.
Oh, yeah? I bet she was, devastated. Like, Larry Fitzgerald takes it to the house.
She thought it was
like,
over.
oh, man, it's over. And then, boom, Santonio Holmes.
She thought it was over.
I remember my mom made me go to bed after the Larry Fitzgerald touchdown. I went to bed thinking the Steelers lost the Super Bowl. I was the most unhappy kid in the world. Then I wake up and I find out they freaking won. I was even more mad at my mom for making me go to sleep.
Gosh, Mom.
Oh, my goodness. If she's watching this, shout out Patty Gustafson. Really do appreciate your love and support. Okay, so we're going to get into today's festivities. And now the special promotion that we're doing on the show today is that if you go ahead and follow me on Twitter, I am at Jack_Sperry. If you go out and follow me on Twitter at some point during today's show, I am going to give you a shout out live here on Steelers Talk. All right, so right before we get into our first segment, I'll have my first round of shout outs. So if you haven't already, you want a shout out here and you want some premium Steelers content and NFL content in general, go check me out on Twitter at Jack_Sperry. Jeremy is putting my link in the comments section right now. So go ahead. If you got a second, go ahead, give me a follow. Really do appreciate it. And I'll give you a nice little shout out here before we get the show going. Now, Jeremy, of course, this weekend we've got the Buffalo Bills at Acrisure Stadium. We're going to see a lot of the starters play for quite a significant amount of time, or at least we're assuming. The unofficial depth chart hasn't come out for this week, so I guess we'll have to see on that. But I'm expecting to see the starters for at least a quarter, maybe a half, and I'm really excited to see how they do against a really good Buffalo Bills defense. I think that Kenny Pickett, last week against the Buccaneers, played against mostly second-teamers on that defense. Looked really good, but I really want to see how he does against a top-flight defense here in the Buffalo Bills. What say you?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think we'll see Josh Allen, but maybe a drive or two.
We'll see him a little bit.
Maybe a couple drives. Maybe a little bit. But I like the Steelers' depth.
I do too.
I like, some of these weapons that they have. Maybe we see more of some Jalen Warren action, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, he's been looking great in camp. Najee's been a little flat to this point in camp. Don't really hear a whole lot about him in terms of, him making splash plays, explosive plays down the field. Today, he got stuffed at the goal line multiple times during the goal line period, which is something you don't want to see from your number one running back, especially a guy at his size. But I'm looking at Saturday, and you need to be spamming Pitt right now. If you're putting BUF in there, you're not a Steelers fan, man.
And
get out of here. We don't want you here, man.
I have a special deal for everybody.
All right, what's up?
Right now, on the spot. I want you to put your score predictions in the chat. If anybody from this live, right now, if anybody gets their score prediction right, I will start off our next Steelers Live next week with a beer chug.
All right, so get those scores in there because we want to get Chuggs drunk next week, all right, to start off the show. That's three beers worth of beer in a big glass boot, for those of you that don't know what we do here.
If you get the score exactly correct, only to people in this live, only for the people watching right now, if you get the score prediction in right now and you get it correct, I'll start off our next live show with a beer chug.
All right, man, so get those score predictions in. Get those PITs in there right now. We also have a very nice super chat menu for you guys. So if you want to get a question on today's mailbag and maybe get something here on today's menu, go ahead and do that. $5 will get you a Here We Go Steelers chant from Chuggs and I. A $10 super chat will get you a Bean-Boozled jelly bean. These are the nasty jelly beans from Jelly Belly. Just got a new box, actually, and we're about to get and for $10 today, I have a feeling we might be eating a lot of jelly beans, Mr. Chuggs.
How great.
Then $20 will get you into the Hard Hat Hall of Fame. We have this hard hat that I wear during Steelers watch parties. We write the names of all the people that put in $20 or more. So a $20 super chat or more will get your name on the helmet. So really do appreciate the support there. And if you want me to slap Jeremy Chuggs for saying that Brock Purdy is better than Kenny Pickett, $50 is going to be his price today. But also if you want him to slap me too, you could do that as well.
Of course.
But and then also $100 total on today's stream will be a Steelers Talk Gold Club membership for you for life. Now, what do you get when you join Steelers Talk Gold Club? You get a super chat sticker that says Steelers Talk Gold Club on it, so everybody knows that you're a part of Gold Club. And then also you get 3 free raffle tickets to every single raffle that we have on the channel, including 3 raffle tickets for the Joey Porter Jr. jersey giveaway we're going to be doing in week 1. Shout out to all the Gold Club members out there. We added a couple last week, starting with Austin Tardif, Mo Love, Brian Love, Anthony Fuller, Nathan Glass, James Lombardo, DJ V, Patty Gustafson, Elliptic 6, Alexander Watson. And then we added 4 new members to Gold Club last week during the watch party. Shout out to Zach Eckert, Troy Hart, our MVP from last week, Andrew Longoria, Jesse Johnson, and you could be next today if you spend $100 throughout today's stream. And speaking of super chats, we've already got a 20-piece coming from my man Mo Love. And he sent in a character here. It's a pear character looking at himself in the mirror.
Is he already on the hard hat?
And he is already on the hard hat. Mo Love was at the game on Friday, Jeremy, and he was still watching the show, and he was still sending in super chats, man. I think he was the second highest donator on the watch party last Friday. So shout out to you, Mo Love. You are a real one.
I think that means 2 beans.
It means 2 beans for you, Mr. Mo Love. Okay, I'm going to do Booger to start off, which sucks. And then Jeremy's going to get grass shavings.
Ew.
All right? So he's going to get grass clippings, lawn clippings. Here we go. Ready? All right, man. This one's to you, Mo Love. Appreciate you, my man.
Okay. It's not good.
Ugh.
This one isn't good, but it's not like
yeah,
horrible.
lawn clippings isn't like a super bad one. It literally just tastes like I'm
got like a handful of grass.
But Booger is no fun, dude. Oh my goodness. Ugh. Appreciate the love, Mo Love. Thank you so much again. $20 will get you on the hard hat. $10 will get you those Bean-Boozled today. Make sure you get hashtag Steelers in the chat for your questions to get on the show, or you could super chat and get a question on today. Any amount of super chat, we'll put your question at the top.
Now it just tastes like dirt in my mouth.
Oh, now it tastes like dirt? All right, man. We're about to get into our first segment here, which is a brand new segment here on Steelers Talk. It's called Buy, Sell, or Hold. It's going to be a bunch of Steelers rumors. I'm going to tell you whether you should take stock in them or not. Then I also have some surprise cut candidates for the Pittsburgh Steelers heading into cut day. And then also I've got the Steelers Talk Live mailbag. And before we get into that, guys, I see we only have 23 likes. We need to get to at least 30 likes before we get into our first segment here. Come on now. We need to get that up. These are rookie numbers. We're only at 24. Who's going to be the guy that gets us to 30? Come on now.
If you already liked the video, type me in the chat.
Yeah, if you've liked the video today, type me. Get those me's in there. We'll give out some shout-outs while you guys get it in.
Who are the real ones?
Let's see who the real ones are. I see my mom, Patty Gustafson, is tuning in today. Hi, Mom.
Let's see. Pyro Scheme 74, Elliptic 6, Patty, Steelers Dad, Mo Love, DJ KJ.
What's up, my man?
Damian Roy, Kevin Reed. All real ones.
All real ones in the chat right now. We just got to 32 likes, which means we are about to get into our first live segment today, which is going to be the brand new segment. Oh, and my man Brian Love is a real one. Getting in here with a $10 super chat.
I think he wants you to eat the...
Brian, let us know who you want the bean for. And Jeremy thinks you want me, but I don't think so, my man.
Brian usually wants you to eat the bean.
Steelers Talk Gold Club member Brian finally got his Steelers mini helmet that he won a couple weeks back on the show, so I'm glad to hear that. Says, hey guys, just wanted to say thanks for the mini helmet. Just got it a few days ago, 24-17 Pitt. Let's go Steelers. Everyone hit the like button.
And actually, now that Brian said this, I kind of like this idea more. If you get it correct in the chat, your score prediction, I'll just drink one beer. If you super chat with your score prediction this weekend, I'll do a boot.
All right, so Jeremy, this is Jeremy's deal. You super chat with your score prediction for this Saturday.
It can be any amount, 2, 5, 10, 20, any amount. Chat with a score prediction. If you get it right, I'm starting next show off with a beer boot.
And I do want to say, unfortunately, we won't be having a live watch party this weekend on Saturday. I do have a wedding that I need to attend this weekend. I won't be able to do the live show, but we'll still have post-game coverage for you guys. And if you get this score prediction right, next week on the live show, Jeremy Chuggs is going to be doing a boot if you super chat it and you get it right.
Let's go, Brian!
Brian again?
He said, I like the idea. You get the bean for now, Sperry.
Oh, come on, Brian. Are you kidding me?
Brian.
All right, I'll do lawn clipping since that's what you got last time.
I'm telling you, it's not horrible. It literally just tastes like grass.
Yeah, this is bad, but it's not like I have to spit it out. It's pretty bad though. I mean, Jeremy, you thought the ranch ice cream tasted good, though. So
it didn't taste bad.
I can't really trust what you have to say on that, my man. Ugh. Okay, that sucks.
Hey, Damian, you heard me right. A real glass boot.
A real glass boot. So super chat with your score prediction. Get your question in there as well if you want to get on today's live mailbag. But first, we've got buy, sell, or hold here on Steelers Talk.
You ready?
I'm ready. Let's kick it.
All right, let's get into today's show.
Today's Steelers Talk video is sponsored by Hexclad. Go to hexclad.com/chat and use promo code CHAT to get 10% off their premium cookware today. Now, on today's edition of Steelers Talk, I'm going to be doing a new segment here called Buy, Sell, or Hold. Now, we've got a bunch of different Steelers rumors for the 2023 season here. I'm going to tell you whether to buy that stock, hold that stock or sell that stock. But before I get into those rumors and I tell you guys, I dive into my crystal ball here and tell you guys what's going to happen here in the 2023 season, go ahead and click that subscribe button because we're going to be having live watch parties for all 17 regular season games. Plus, we're going to be having a live watch party for the Week 3 preseason matchup between the Steelers and the Atlanta Falcons. So not only do we have preseason coverage for you guys, we got regular season coverage here on the channel for all 17 games. So if you don't want to miss a moment and you want a place to kick it with your fellow Yinzers this season, this is the place for you. So click that subscribe button for me right now. Now the first one that we have today, Matt Canada's play calling will derail the 2023 season. Now, that one's pretty interesting, but right now I'm going to say let's hold it right now. Let's not buy, let's not sell it, because I think it is possible that Matt Canada completely ruins this season for the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's a very competitive division here in the AFC North. If the Browns, Bengals, and Baltimore Ravens are all quality football teams, a bad offensive coordinator could absolutely make the difference. And if Matt Canada stinks this year, that could absolutely be the difference in this division and put the Steelers in last place. That is my biggest fear as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan heading into the 2023 season. However, I'm going to hold the brakes here, and I'm not going to sell my stock in Matt Canada until I see a couple of games where it's the same old Matt Canada. You know, right now he's been talking about all offseason that they have new stuff in store for this offense. We haven't seen it in the preseason to this point, but I want to see it in the regular season. If Matt Canada can do a good job as the OC, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be a real problem for the rest of the AFC North in 2023. Now, let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. Will Matt Canada's play calling derail the 2023 season? Predict it for me down in the comments section by giving me a B if you're buying that statement, or if you're going to sell that statement, give me an S down there in the comments section. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show, so YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. Take advantage of that time by answering today's pinned question. All right, the next rumor that I'm going to answer here is Nick Bosa will not play versus the Pittsburgh Steelers in Week 1. Now, we heard a rumor that Nick Bosa is planning on potentially holding out even going into the 2023 regular season. Last year's Defensive Player of the Year plays for the San Francisco 49ers, who, of course, play the Pittsburgh Steelers at Acrisure Stadium in Week 1. Now, I'm going to tell you guys to sell the stock on this story. I'm pretty sure what this is that Bosa's camp is just putting stories out there to try to put pressure on the San Francisco 49ers front office. And I believe a guy like Nick Bosa is going to want to be on the field here for Week 1 against a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers, somebody that just won Defensive Player of the Year, isn't going to want to sit out any games. And I don't think the 49ers are going to want their best defensive player absent in that Week 1 matchup, because we know the Steelers are going to be a tough matchup for those 49ers. I would totally expect at this point Nick Bosa to be on the field at that point. All right, now I've got more rumors to go over here later on in today's show, but first let's have a word from our sponsor at HexClad. All right, guys, it's time to talk about your kitchen. And no, I'm not talking about your roommate's dirty dishes that have been in the sink for the past week now. Today's sponsor, HexClad, has revolutionized the cookware industry with a hybrid pan that gives you all the convenience and cleanup of a nonstick, the versatility of your grandma's cast iron, and a lifetime warranty just in case you find a way to destroy it. Use promo code CHAT at hexclad.com/chat for 10% off today. HexClad truly checks every single box when it comes to picking your cookware. They're metal utensil safe, dishwasher safe, and oven safe up to 500 degrees. But don't just take my word for it, guys. Celebrity chef Gordon Ramsay uses these pans in his own home kitchen. This is what Gordon has to say about HexClad. The sear I can get with these pans is incredible, with absolutely no stick. The temperature control is utter perfection, and the cleanup is effortless. I love using HexClad at home. And let me tell you guys, these pans are the sexiest pans on the market. I have brought my HexClad from home. And look at this thing, man. It is crystal clear. It is super clean, super easy cleanup. I pan fry steak and chicken on this probably 3-4 times a week. I make eggs on it. on Sunday morning. It's absolutely fantastic for whatever you need, so you can seriously score some points at home with Hexclad. It's time to stop ordering delivery food and start cooking like a big boy right now with Hexclad in your kitchen. Real cuisine isn't made in a microwave, it's cooked in a Hexclad. So for a limited time only, get 10% off with our special link, hexclad.com/chat. That's 10% off at hexclad.com/chat with code chat. All right, buy, sell, or hold. Pittsburgh's defense will lead the NFL in sacks in 2023. Now, this one, there's a lot of good pass rushes in the National Football League, but I am going to buy stock in the Pittsburgh Steelers leading the league in sacks this year. When you've got a healthy TJ Watt who can put up like 20-plus sacks when he's healthy, and now you got Alex Highsmith who looks like he's gotten even better coming off of a 14.5 sack season, I think they're going to rack up the numbers, and then he's still got Cam Hayward with an insane bull rush there. He's still got Larry Ogunjobi as well, and then Keanu Benton. Who knows how good he's going to be this year. So I'm going to buy stock in this one here because I think the Steelers' pass rush is the best in the league, and that's not even counting the great blitzing linebackers that the Steelers have right now in Cole Holcomb and Landon Roberts. I think Mike Tomlin is going to cook up the best pass rush in the National Football League this year. Then another one here, buy, sell, or hold. Kenny Pickett will be top 10 in touchdown passes in 2023. Now, for me, I think that because it's going to be a very run-centric offense this year, I don't think Kenny quite gets into the top 10. So I'm going to sell stock on this one. Now, does that mean that I think Kenny Pickett is going to suck this year? No, it doesn't. I think he's going to have a really good second season in the National Football League. I think that he's going to solidify himself as the franchise quarterback, or at least I hope. And I think that he's somebody that's really building chemistry with a lot of these wide receivers. He's throwing lots of back shoulder balls in training camp, which tells me that the chemistry between him and Deontay Johnson, George Pickens, Pat Freiermuth, all these guys that he has to work with is really working well. But Matt Canada has made it absolutely clear. The heart of this offense is going to be the run game with Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren. And if you're not throwing the ball all that much, then you're probably not throwing that many touchdowns as opposed to some of these really pass-heavy offenses in the National Football League. So when it comes to pure passing touchdowns this year, I think Kenny's going to play well, but I think he's going to be outside the top 10. All right, now buy, sell, or hold. Dan Moore Jr. will be the starting left tackle for the Pittsburgh Steelers in Week 1 versus the San Francisco 49ers. This one's tough for me, man, because Broderick Jones is starting to really rise up the ranks. He's had a couple of really good days in practice, and we're still a couple of weeks away from an official decision being made. So right now, I am going to tell you to hold this one because I think Broderick has a legitimate shot here. Now, Dan Moore Jr. is still in the lead because he is better in pass protection. But listen, if Broderick continues to impress in practice against guys like Nick Herbig, who's been a real standout in camp along the edge, I think Broderick has a legitimate shot to win the position, but right now it's definitely up in the air. Now, predict it for me down there in the comment section. Who do you think is going to start at left tackle for the Black and Gold Week 1 versus the 49ers? Will it be Dan Moore Jr.? Give me a DM, or if you think it's going to be Broderick Jones, the rookie out of Georgia, give me a BJ down there in the comment section. All right, for me, I'm going to say, if I have to pick right now, I'm going to pick Dan Moore Jr. because he's in the lead. But now, listen, if Broderick Jones has another couple of really good games in the preseason, if he continues to hold up Nick Herbig in practice, I think he's got a legitimate shot. Now, he needs to prove it. We've said it throughout the offseason. There's nothing given, even for first-round picks in this organization. But I think that with the talent that's there, he's got a legitimate shot. But if I have to put my money on it, I'm going with Dan Moore Jr. Now, buy, sell, or hold. Joey Porter Jr. will win Defensive Rookie of the Year this year. This one, there's a lot of really good defensive players in the National Football League, and there's lots of good defensive rookies. Jalen Carter with the Eagles, Nolan Smith with the Eagles, Will Anderson with the Houston Texans, Emmanuel Forbes with the Commanders, I think is a perfect fit for their defense. So right now, I'm going to sell this one. I don't think Joey Porter Jr. is going to be the true number one corner on this defense this year. I think that title is still going to go to Patrick Peterson, and I think that there's other players in this league, whether it be a Jalen Carter or an Emmanuel Forbes or a Devin Witherspoon with the Seattle Seahawks, that are going to take more of a prominent role in their defenses. And although I think Joey Porter Jr. is going to be the number one corner for this defense for the next decade, I don't think it's going to be this year. And I think that there's going to be other corners that might have a little bit more impressive stat lines when it's all said and done. All right, now buy, sell, or hold. Pittsburgh will have at least 3 players make an all-pro team this season. And you know what, man? I'm going to go out of limb here, and I'm going to say buy this, okay? Buy this stock. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to have multiple really, really good players, and I think they'll have at least 3 all-pro selections this year, whether it be T.J. Watt, whether Alex Highsmith finally breaks through here and gets an all-pro season, whether it be Cam Hayward, who is still an all-pro caliber player in my opinion. Minkah Fitzpatrick, the lone all-pro player for the Steelers last year, is still here, and he's still really good. George Pickens, if he breaks out and becomes a superstar, he might become an all-pro wide receiver this year. I think there's multiple players that could absolutely have all-pro caliber seasons, and because of that, I'm going to tell you to buy this stock. The Steelers are going to have one hell of a roster here in 2023. That'll be it for today's show, guys. Really do appreciate all the support. If you are a real one and you made it to the end of today's show, let me know down there in the comment section right now by typing real one in all caps so I know that you are one of those real ones that made it to the end of today's show. That'll be it for me today, guys. Really do appreciate all the support. And until next time, here we go, Steelers. All right, One segment done.
I like that one. I
like this segment. If you guys like that segment, like this stream right now. I see 91 people are watching right now. Don't go anywhere. We are about to get into the Steelers Talk mailbag where I answer your questions.
This is the part where we need you. We need you to get your questions in.
Get those questions in, man.
So we can answer anything you have to ask on the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is the part where you, the viewers, come in and make this, it's called chat sports.
It's called chat sports. So guess what we're going to do?
We're going to chat.
We're going to chat about sports, specifically the Steelers here in just a second. Do me a favor. Go hashtag Steelers in the chat. Get your question in there or super chat. Really do appreciate all the questions, man. Can't wait to see what kind of stuff you guys have cooked up for me today. Jeremy, how are we doing on questions right now? Do we still need a couple more?
I know we had Hexclad. A lot of cooking puns from you today.
Lots of, yeah. Yeah,
what do we have cooking up?
What do we have cooking up? I've had Broderick Jones cookies in the oven. I've had that one before.
You've had a lot of cooking puns today.
I guess we've got a lot of cooking analogies here on Steelers Talk, and I didn't really notice it. You know what, man? I'll tell you this right now. If we can get a $10 super chat, I will get producer Coop. You guys remember him from the watch party. He'll come on here and do a here we go Steelers chant with us. For a $10 super chat, plus you get a Bean-Boozled bean. All right, so if we can get that before the mailbag, get your question on that super chat.
If you don't know what to do, look in the chat right now. Look at DJ KJ, look at CM Punk. They're veterans. They know what to do. Follow their lead. Hashtag Steelers at the start of your comment or question, and then put whatever you want.
Put whatever you want. All right. Now, I'm going to check my Twitter here for anyone that has followed me to this point. For anyone that follows me on Twitter today, I'm giving a shout out. Okay, so I see that nobody has followed me to this point. If you want to go follow me at Jack_Sperry, I will give you a shout out live here on Steelers Talk. So go ahead and do that right now for me if you would. Jeremy just put the link to my Twitter down there in the comments section.
If you're not following Sperry on Twitter, are you a true Yinzer?
I don't know, man. I put a lot of good Steelers stuff on there.
Elliptic 6 said he just followed.
All right, let me see. I'm not seeing anything Elliptic 6. I'm hoping you picked the right one.
Oh, maybe he already follows you.
If he already follows me, then I appreciate your support, man. It's just new followers today. All right. So how are we doing on questions here, Mr. Jeremy?
Let me check how we're shaking out right now.
Because I want to get to these Steelers questions, man. We got 75 people watching right now. Thank you to everybody that is currently watching. Click that like button. Let's get to 50 likes before we get into this mailbag. All right, man? Let's get those likes up. Frank Campbell says he's following. Appreciate you, my man. I'm still not getting any notifications on follows, though. Maybe, I don't think I turned that notification off.
Maybe.
But hopefully not. All right, so how are we doing on questions, Mr. Chuggs?
We're getting there. we still have room for some more questions. So, like we said, if you have any questions,
get those questions in now, man.
Actually, AR made a good point. He's following you on X.
I mean, are we really calling it that now? Like, I like Twitter. What was wrong with Twitter? Twitter, why did you have to change it to a freaking letter?
You sound like such a boomer.
I know, man. Like, I'm a boomer Sperry over here still calling it Twitter.
I remember whenever it was Tweeter. Those were the days.
We might actually be saying that in 20 years when our kids are using X. We're going to be like, I remember when it was Twitter.
I used to send out tweets. What are these X's you talk about?
Elliptic 6. I don't... So Luke McFadden just followed me on Twitter. Thank you, Luke. Appreciate you, my man. And then also Firefly fan. Thank you so much. I think that's my mom. Firefly fan. I think it's my mom.
Rachel said, meet in the middle. Call it
Zitter? Do you call that Zitter?
Zitter?
I think that's how you pronounce it there.
Mo Love, maybe that's why he changed it to X.
It's stupid, man. I'm sorry. Like I like a lot of the stuff that Elon does. You know, I love Tesla, I love SpaceX, all that different stuff. But
except he's kind of dodging Zuck right now.
He is kind of dodging Zuck. I will say that Zuck isn't he like a black belt in something?
ARC Pawn, you hit the nail on the head.
Twix.
Oh,
that's the name. ARC Pawn, shout out to you, my man. That was awesome. Oh, and we've got a $20 super chat.
Get Coop in here.
From Brian Love. Get Coop in here, man. Get him in here. I'm going to slack him right now. Let's get Coop in this joint.
Brian Love, the 20-piece says, Steelers, who do you guys think ends up being CB1 for the team by the end of the year?
So I think that Joey Porter Jr. has a shot to take over that spot, especially if Patrick Peterson gets hurt or something.
I think it's Pat Pete. My sneaky candidate, unfortunately, not going to play this year, Corey Trice.
Yeah, I mean, Corey, I really love Corey. I really wanted to see him play this year, and it sucks that we're not going to be able to. And he's going to lose a huge year in his development. That rookie season is massive. And now he's going to miss an entire year with that full...
I was really high on Corey Trice.
Same here, man. We all were here at Steelers Talk, and, you know, we were so excited to get him in the 7th round, but he did have knee issues. And here's Mr. Coop.
Oh, there he goes.
Put it full screen for Mr. Brian Love. You want the towel here, Mr. Coop? Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Thank you, producer Coop. Thank you so much, my man.
Do you want a bean?
Yeah, do you want a bean, Coop? All right, so
he
Brian.
Sent in 20, so one for you and one for Coop.
All right, so you get liver and onions. And I know you don't like liver and onions. I'll do one with you. All right? Here we go.
Cheers.
Here's to you, Coop.
L'chaim.
It's coffee. Coop is leaving in anger right now. He is storming out of the studio. I got cappuccino. I don't like cappuccino. I don't like coffee.
Oh, so you got a good one.
I technically got a good one, but I don't like the coffee taste.
You're not a coffee guy.
Appreciate Coop for coming on to give Brian Love some love. How are we doing on questions here, Jeremy? Are we about ready to get into this?
I think we're about good. Reminder, you can ask a question with the Super Chat. If you send in any of these amounts right here, we'll do it after the Q&A cut.
If you don't have your name on this hard hat yet, $20 is going to be it. Plus, you get 2 Bean-Boozled.
I'm guessing Brian has his name on the hard hat.
Oh, yeah. Brian got on there early on Friday night.
Oh!
A 50-piece from Andrew Longoria! Woo! Gold Club.
Hey!
New member of Gold Club. What's good, Andrew? He says, #Steelers. 2 questions for you. Do you think Calvin Austin III will overtake Robinson for the slot? And does Jones have enough skill to surpass Moore?
You know what?
This is going to be the first question.
We're going to put it very first in the mailbag. Andrew Longoria.
2 really good questions here, Andrew, as well. So really excited to get into this mailbag. $50. You know what that means, Chuggs? Tortilla slap. Who do you want, Andrew? Let us know. Do you want me to slap Chuggs? Or do you want Chuggs to slap me? Or do you want Coop to get slapped?
Ooh, I love that option. I love that option.
Jeremy likes that option. Let me know.
Oh, Patty's saying
My
slap
mom
Sperry.
wants my mother wants me to get slapped.
Oh, so Andrew, you gotta. Oh, he said let's get Coop.
Let's get Coop.
Tell Coop to get back in here with a
Oh
tortilla.
yeah, let's go.
Do you have a tortilla?
I think that we still have tortillas
No,
here.
I'm saying on you right now.
I don't.
Oh, tell Coop to come back in here with a tort. Patty's a real one. Patty's a real one. Patty, I've heard wonderful things about your Snicker salad.
Snicker salad is a Minnesota staple, and you gotta love it. All right, man. Andrew, we're going to get a slap going for you. Make sure to get those questions in now using hashtag Steelers, or do what Andrew did and get your question in a super chat, and we'll put you right at the top. So unfortunately, Coop is about to film a video, so it has to be either me or Jeremy here, Andrew.
Do you want to do it before or after the? Here, let me go get the tortilla. We can do it before.
Okay, so let me know, Mr. Andrew Longoria, who you want to get slapped, me or Jeremy. If it's Jeremy, we'll do it before the Q&A. If it's me, we'll do it after the Q&A. So let me know, Andrew, what you want. Appreciate the $50, my man. Gold Club, man, showing up big time today. We've got Brian in here. We got Elliptic 6. I saw you lurking in there. Andrew is here as well. My mother is in here. Ah, come on, Andrew. I'm getting slapped. Man. All right. Well, we'll do my slap after the Q&A so I don't have a big streak on my face for the cut. All right. Well, actually, we'll do it before. You paid $50. We'll get you going. Another $50 super chat. We'll do another slap. $20 will get you on the helmet, plus 2 Bean-Boozled jelly beans. $10 will get you 1 bean. Yep, slap on me, unfortunately. Thanks, Mom. God, it definitely would have been Chuggs if my mom wasn't in there. Stop getting on your tippy toes. He is on his tippy toes right now, just so he doesn't look like a little child. All right, here we go. You guys ready for this? Thank you, Andrew. Yeah. Oh, I thought a super chat came in. Oh, he got. Oh my gosh, he got me good, dude. Oh. I really hope that doesn't show on this next cut, because he got me good, y'all. Right on the side of the face. Thank you so much, Andrew, for your $50 super chat. We are right at $100 of super chat revenue right now. If you want to get your question on the mailbag, go ahead and super chat. Even while we're in the middle of the mailbag, you can still get your question on there. Just make sure you super chat, guys. Really do appreciate all of the support. Now, we are getting into the Steelers Talk live mailbag coming at you right now. Today is the Steelers Talk mailbag, filmed on Wednesday during the Steelers Talk live show. If you're watching this and it's not Wednesday, that means you missed the live show, but that's okay, because we still got Steelers questions coming for you here on today's show. But before I answer your questions, join the most interactive Steelers community here on the platform by clicking that subscribe button right now. We have weekly live shows where we have mailbags every single week, so I can answer your questions. And then also we have live watch parties for every single Steelers game that's going to be coming up this season. So make sure you join our community here. If you want a place to kick it with your Yinzers on game day this year, this is the place for you. Click that subscribe button for me right now. And then we got a $50 super chat from my man Andrew Longoria, a Gold Club member, saying, two Steelers questions for you. Do you think Calvin Austin III will overtake Allen Robinson for the slot? And does Jones have enough skill to surpass Moore? So let's start with the first question there. And I think that, Allen Robinson and Calvin Austin III, they're going to be splitting a lot of reps this year. I think to start, it's going to be mostly Allen Robinson on those early downs, because he's a bigger wide receiver. He's a better blocker, obviously. And, he's really good at doing like the underneath sort of stuff, the choice routes underneath, where he's not necessarily a deep threat like Calvin Austin III is, but he's going to be able to get stuff going underneath while George Pickens and Deontay Johnson are kind of your deep threats on the outside. But I think Calvin Austin III will play quite a bit this year, especially in those obvious passing situations where you don't really need an underneath receiver like Allen Robinson and you don't need his run blocking. And then also in those 4 wide receiver sets. If Matt Canada ever wants to spread out the offense, I think that 4th receiver is going to be Calvin Austin III, and that puts another deep threat on your offense. Then part 2 to that question. Does Jones have enough skill to surpass Moore? So I think that he does. I think that there's a reason why you traded up for this guy in the NFL draft. He is very, very skilled as a player. It's just he needs some refinement, right? He just needs to refine those skills in pass protection. He's very athletic. He's already a really good run blocker. If he can develop the pass protection aspect of his game by the end of camp, I'm looking at Mr. Broderick Jones as the starting left tackle for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Then we got a $20 super chat from my man Brian Love, another Gold Club member, who says, who do you guys think ends up being the CB1 for this team by the end of the year? I still think it's going to be Patrick Peterson. I think Joey Porter Jr. has next, but man, Patrick Peterson, people forget how good this guy still is in the National Football League. He had 5 interceptions with the Minnesota Vikings last year, and very an instincts-based defense. They played kind of a Fangio-style off-coverage type of defense there in Minnesota last year, and that's really where Patrick Peterson thrived. Now here with the Pittsburgh Steelers, you might say right away, hey, that's kind of a mismatch because Mike Tomlin likes to run a lot of man, and Patrick Peterson's getting older and his physical gifts are starting to wane a little bit, but it's looking like Pat Pete, he's going to be playing a lot of nickel this year. He's going to be playing a lot of safety this year too. It seems like Mike Tomlin is really going to be using him as a roamer in the middle of this defense. And I think that Patrick Peterson is going to probably lead this group in interceptions this year. I really like Levi Wallace as well. He's a very solid starter. And I do think Joey Porter Jr. will show us a lot of good things in his rookie season. But when it comes to that first number 1 corner on this depth chart, I still go with Pat Pete. Next question comes from Terry Bradshaw. He says, with Kendrick Green struggling, should the Steelers sign a backup center before the season starts? I wouldn't hate it. Terry, I definitely wouldn't hate it. Kendrick Green has obviously not played well as the backup center. You've got Spencer Anderson, who is taking some reps there at center right now. And, neither one of them has looked particularly good. Now, you do have Isaac Seumalo, James Daniels, and Nate Herbig, who all have experience playing center. So if something happens to Mason Cole, they could figure something out at the center position without Green or Spencer Anderson. But right now, there's some pretty decent former centers on the free agent market. Right now, Ben Jones, former Tennessee Titans starting center, is still on the free agent market, and he's really good, man. He only allowed 1 sack last year. He's been a very solid starting center in this league for a long time. A Pro Bowler is still available on the free agent market. Now, will he take a backup role? I highly doubt it, but I definitely wouldn't hate it if the Steelers added somebody in free agency. But now let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. Should the Steelers sign another backup center before the start of the 2023 season? Give me a yes or give me a no. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. So YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. Take advantage of that time by answering today's pinned question with a yes or a no. Then we got a $50 super chat from my mother, Patty Gustafson. Thank you so much. Much obliged, Mother. Thank you so much for your $50. And, of course, if you're watching the Steelers Talk Live show, that means I'm getting slapped. Then we got a $20 super chat from my man, Andrew Longoria. Again, says, looking at the skills, would you like to see Sullivan solidify his spot as the slot corner, or would you like to see him replaced by Elijah Riley? Andrew, I want to see the best player get the position. And right now, it seems like Elijah Riley is making a ton of plays at Steelers training camp, whether it be getting interceptions, whether it be pass deflections, whether it be getting sacks on corner blitzes. He's really good at that as well. Whether it be run defense, he's probably way better than Chant and Sullivan at this point in run defense. And right now, if I'm Mike Tomlin and I'm looking at what Elijah Riley is bringing to the table, I'm looking at that guy. I'm saying I might go with him over the veteran, Chandon Sullivan. So it's definitely going to be an interesting preseason battle to watch out for here. But, right now, I kind of like Elijah Riley's chances. And then we got one from Mo Love, another Steelers Talk Gold Club member, saying, been watching our left tackle, Spencer Anderson, and he's been showing up. How are you guys feeling about this dude? Now, right now, based on what I'm hearing from Latrobe, he is the number 2 right tackle on this team right now. Right tackle, not left tackle. Apparently he's been really impressive as a tackle, less impressive as an interior offensive lineman. That's what I'm hearing from Latrobe, but he can play all 5 offensive line positions. He's impressed in some different positions, not as much in others. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can make the final 53-man roster. He's definitely got the versatility that Omar Khan and Mike Tomlin are looking for. But the question is he going to have the skill necessary to keep him here long-term on the 53? Then we got a question from CM Punk here. It says, do you think Pickens will have a 1,200-plus yard season? Yes. I'm going to say yes on that. I think George Pickens is going to have a breakout season. He had another catch today, today being Wednesday at practice, where one-handed catch over a receiver on the sideline, and he got the toe tap in there. I mean, this dude is just built different. He is a freaking alien. And I think that, with a guy like Kenny Pickett throwing him the football who's really accurate, I think George Pickens is going to explode this year, and he's going to become a true bona fide superstar wide receiver in the league, and I think he smashes that 1,200-yard mark. Then we got one from Jack Lambert here. It says Steelers defense is top 3 this year, or if the Steelers is top defense or top 3 defense this year, do you think Terrell Austin will get hired as an NFL head coach? Maybe. He's only been in the position for 2 years. I thought he did a really good job last year, kind of adjusting without TJ Watt. Of course, the cornerback room was dealing with a lot of injuries. And I think he's a really smart dude. Now, Tomlin disciples haven't really gotten the kind of love that maybe the Shanahan tree or the McVay tree have gotten. Bruce Arians ended up winning a Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But I'm looking at a guy like Terrell Austin. He's a really smart dude. And I think if they're top 3 this year, I think teams would be dumb not to look at him as a potential head coaching candidate. Now, let me know, true or false, down here in the comments section. The Steelers have the best defense in the NFL heading into 2023. Type T if you think that statement is true, or if you think it's false, give me an F down there in the comments section. Our next question from Steelers Dad here. He says, do you think we will keep Kendrick Green even as a fullback? I think it's going to – I really don't know, Steelers Dad. Kendrick Green is one of those big question marks that is on this roster. He is doing not so well at center. He really didn't play well at center in that preseason game. He had a bad snap. He had a big holding penalty. It just wasn't a good night for Kendrick at the center position. He's been working out with the fullbacks, and, I think that's probably his most valuable position, if I'm being completely honest with you. He can run over guys. He's an athletic dude for his size. And I think that, I reminisce about the 85 Bears with the refrigerator coming in, right? Perry coming in, that big boy coming in on those 3rd and shorts at the goal line, getting those touchdowns. Kendrick Green could be that type of player for the Pittsburgh Steelers if they wanted to use him in that way. But will there be enough room for him to carry an extra fullback on this team in addition to Connor Hayward? I'm not too sure about that. Then we got a question from Pyro Scheme 7-4, and he says, will Keanu Benton start week 1? I don't think so. Now, I think that, I think he's going to be a really good player for the Steelers long term. Just want to get that out there. I think I compared his game to Cam Hayward coming out of the draft, and lo and behold, the Steelers take him. Now, I think that he's going to start off his career as a nose tackle. Cam's the 3 technique, a pass rusher first. But I think that Keanu is a really good run defender. He showed his strength, that pure strength that he has last week against the Buccaneers, really showed out in that game. But right now, Montravius Adams, apparently the Steelers really like him. And then Braden Fajoku is an absolute beast against the run right now. It's looking like both of those guys are going to end up making the roster. And it's looking like the Steelers are going to carry 3 nose tackles on the final 53. Now, that's definitely interesting to me. But when I look at Keanu Benton and I look at how much they like the other 2 nose tackles on this team, I don't think a first-week start for Benton is going to be in the cards, but towards the end of the season, it's all fair game. Then we got a question from Elliptic6 here. He says, do you think Matt Canada's offense can keep up with the high-flying offenses in the AFC, or do you think we will rely on our defense to calm the storms? I think it's going to be very much reliant on defense this year. I think Matt Canada has already said this, where, you know, the recipe for success for this team towards the end of last season was run the football, play elite defense. That's what they did, and it almost got them to the playoffs, right? So I think that's going to be the focus going into the year. I do think the passing offense is going to be better than it was last year, because I think Kenny Pickett's going to take that step forward. George Pickens is going to take a step into superstardom this year, in my opinion. I'm still a believer in Deontay Johnson. Really like Calvin Austin III. Really like Pat Freiermuth. So I think the offense will be fine this year, but, like, is it going to be top 5 in the National Football League in yardage and touchdowns and all this stuff? I don't think so. I think that what I'll say is this. The Pittsburgh Steelers offense is going to lead to a lot of wins for the black and gold. That's my prediction. I'm not too sure what it's going to look like in terms of stats, but the only stat that I really care about in the end is wins and losses, and I think the Steelers are going to have a lot of W's in 2023. Then we got a $20 super chat from Gold Club member Brian Love. And he says, I heard about Nate Herbig's shoulder injury today. That being said, how bad or not have you heard that the injury is, and how does that shift and or affect our O-line depth? So what I've heard about Nate is that it's not super serious, that he's going to be back within the next couple days. He might not play this Saturday against the Buffalo Bills, but I'm hearing that he's going to be good to go for week 1, and he's absolutely still expected to make the final 53-man roster. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of relief there, Brian. Right now, the one I'm a little bit more intrigued by is Larry Ogunjobi, who's in a walking boot right now. He's not practicing with the team. You know, is that injury maybe a little bit more serious than we're being led on to believe? I'm definitely interested to see how these injuries kind of play out, because we know Mike Tomlin and the Steelers are pretty secretive about this stuff at this point in the year. Then we got one from Matt Canada here, and he goes, all of the players the Steelers have signed this week, which one is the most likely to make the final roster? So they signed Neville Clark, Lavert Hill, both of those guys are corners, and then yesterday, Xavier Valladay. Am I saying that right, Jeremy Chuggs? He's my producer today, as well as our Texans host here at Chat Sports. Just picked him off of waivers from the Houston Texans, and he's been looking really good in camp. He had a diving catch in practice today, which is really, really fun. And, you know, but I will say this. I think the person that's most likely to make the 53-man roster is actually cornerback Lavert Hill. He was a first-team All-Big Ten player twice at the University of Michigan. He was a third-team All-American his last year there with the Wolverines, and he's very athletic. He was All-XFL this spring. Very athletic dude. It wouldn't surprise me whatsoever if he rose up the ranks here in these last couple weeks and snuck into the 53-man roster, especially because guys like James Pierre have had some ups and downs this training camp. We've seen guys like Luke Barku have tackling issues. Madre Harper's had some coverage issues. So maybe a guy like Lavert Hill, who was all XFL this spring, has a really nice pedigree for somebody that was picked up this late in the process. Maybe he sneaks on and gets a 53-man roster spot. Now, do me a favor here and like today's video. If you're feeling generous and you want to help us out here at Steelers Talk, we put a ton of work in giving you guys the best damn Steelers coverage for free here on YouTube. So we'd really appreciate it if you click that thumbs up icon. Next question from Kevin Reed here, and he says, do you think Calvin Austin III will have 1,000 yards receiving this year? No, I don't think he gets up to that point. Now, do I think he could eventually become a 1,000-yard type receiver? Yes. The reason why I don't think he's going to get to a 1,000 this year is because I don't think he's going to get the snaps, right? I think especially early in the season, Allen Robinson is going to get a lion's share of the snaps in the slot. You know, Calvin will be more of a gadget player, more of a rotational piece. And, you know, hopefully as the season moves on, Calvin can get on the field more often. But I think expecting, you know, a really consistent 1,000-yard type season from this guy might be a little bit too high of an expectation, but I definitely think he's going to have some nice splash plays for the Steelers this year. Then we got one from Damian Roy. He says, we will be the dark horse in the AFC Stamp that. Oh, yeah, man. I appreciate you, Damian Roy. 100% agree. If Matt Canada and Kenny Pickett are the real deal, the Steelers are going to be the dark horse team in the AFC for 2023. All right, that's going to be it for me today, guys. Really do appreciate all the support. Make sure you click that subscribe button because we got more Steelers content coming your way leading up to week 1 versus the 49ers. So if you want to become an expert on the 2023 Pittsburgh Steelers, this is the place for you. Click that subscribe button for me right now. All right, 2 down, 1 to go, Jeremy Chuggs.
Yes, sir. And we have another slap.
Oh, no.
Patty, 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 Patty.
That's right.
Patty.
My mother, Patty Gustafson, has sent in a $50 super chat, which unfortunately means another slap is coming.
Patty, what if I told you 5 years ago you were going to pay $50 for someone to slap your son?
Oh, that's pretty funny, man. Okay, let's get this slap.
Also, we owe 2 beans.
We do owe 2 beans because Brian Love sent in a 20-piece during the mailbag. Checking my Twitter right now for anyone that has followed me. No new additions there. You can go follow me at Jack_Sperry right now on Twitter if you want a shout out before we get into this third segment. In just a second, we're going to be getting into some surprise Steelers cut candidates that I have. I got 8 names of a couple of pretty surprising names of guys that might not make the final 53. So go ahead. Jeremy's put my Twitter link down there in the chat. So if you want to check me out on Twitter, you can get a shout out today. All right, Jeremy.
Said the other side.
Oh, okay. So this side. Oh, he got my neck. He is on his tippy toes right now.
Stop lying.
This is what I look like on my tippy toes. Look at him bounce. He's so adorable, man. All right, so we got 2 beans for Mr. Brian Love.
You know what's up for that?
Am I getting dirty dishwater for that?
You get rotten egg.
I get rotten egg? Oh, dude. I don't think I've ever done rotten egg just because I've avoided it. I don't want rotten egg, dude.
Right, and mine is either dead fish or strawberry.
Damian Roy says looking like father and son. I don't know. I don't know about that. Like, he looks like maybe a kid I'm babysitting for, but he definitely doesn't look like my son.
I'm not calling him dad.
Yeah.
Even if there's a fire.
Even if there's a fire. All right, rotten egg, and what'd you say yours was?
Mine was either dead fish or strawberry banana.
Oh, so 2 bad ones, man. Okay, here we go. Cheers. Let's go! All right, it's still gross though because it's popcorn. Dude, I got a good one, but it's bad. It's buttered popcorn, which is like the worst flavor. Ew. Damian Roy says scrumptious. I couldn't disagree more, my friend. All right, we got 72 people in the chat right now. We're about to get a $50 super chat from Andrew Longoria. Let's go. He goes, you have to get revenge. Let's go get your slap in. Let's go. Do it.
Andrew, I'm not even going to heart your super chat because I feel hurt.
Let's go, Andrew. I appreciate it, my man. Well, hey, at least it's fair now. Andrew's put in 2 50s.
I'm the average height for an American male. I've looked it up. I'm the average height. 5'9.5". 5'9" is the average height of the American male.
Yeah,
You're just tall.
5'9" next to 6'5" it's drastic.
I'm 5'9.5".
Yeah, it still looks pretty drastic.
So
But that's
please.
okay. Okay, slap time, man. Let's go. I'm so happy now. I'm so excited. Let's go. All right, Andrew. Gonna make it worth your money here. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Yes. Let's go. Yes. Andrew Longoria, today's MVP to this point. Thank you. You have been a real one today. Keep them coming. Keep them coming, my friend. We're at $239 in Super Chat revenue. I didn't think we were going to get there today. So big shout out to Andrew Longoria, Brian Love, my mother, Patty Gustafson. Appreciate all the support, guys. We got surprise Steelers cut candidates coming your way here soon.
Patty, send another one in so I can slap your son.
No, please do not.
Patty.
I think we gotta get. I think it's time to get to our next cut. I think it's time to move forward.
You can do it.
SC says he followed me on Twitter. Oh, there he is. SC, thank you so much, my friend, for the Twitter follow. That is your shout out, my friend. Thank you to Mr. SC.
Patty, I believe in you.
No, don't do it. Please do not.
Patty,
oh, we got producer Coop in here. You know what we're gonna do? Here's the towel.
Quick. Elliptic Sticks. We're doing the JPJ jersey giveaway week 1.
Yeah, Elliptic 6, week 1, JPJ jersey giveaway. Here we go, Mr. Coop.
Are we going?
We're going. All right. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Big shout out to producer Coop for coming on here. Oh, should we slap him?
No. If we get another 50 right now, yes.
If we get another 50. 500. No, if we get another 50. Coop is refusing to get slapped today, unfortunately.
Boo that man.
Boo! Get those boos in the chat. Coop doesn't want to get slapped today, man.
He's scared.
He is scared. It doesn't hurt that bad.
And I noticed.
It really doesn't.
I noticed from watching that right now, Coop is shorter than me. And you don't say anything about his height.
They do. They do. Trust me. You weren't here last Friday. They said plenty about Coop's height. All right. Like, oh my goodness. Show them your baseball swing, Sperry, from my mother.
Well, I heard he's a pitcher, so he can't really swing that well.
Yeah, you know, I haven't swung a bat in probably a good 2 years at this point. But okay, dude. We need to get into this third cut. I got surprise Steelers cut candidates. Are we ready to get things going here, Mr. Jeremy Chuggs? All right. Steelers surprise cut candidates coming your way right now. Today's Steelers Talk video is sponsored by Hexclad. Go to hexclad.com/chat to get 10% off their premium cookware. Make sure you use promo code CHAT at checkout to get our special discount of 10% off. Now on today's show, I've got 8 surprising Steelers cut candidates that could be on the bubble here to potentially not make the final 53-man roster here on cut day coming up here in just a couple of weeks. But before we get into today's action, do me a favor and like today's video to get things going. If you're feeling generous, we'd really appreciate if you click that thumbs up icon. We work night and day to give you guys the best damn Steelers coverage on the planet here on YouTube, 100% free, so every like goes a very, very long way. Now, a little disclaimer before I get into today's list. This is a surprising cut candidates list. So this isn't a prediction video. I'm not saying that all 8 of these guys are getting cut or that they're even likely to get caught. All we're going to be doing today is discussing the possibility of some of these kind of assumed roster spots, roster players getting cut on cut day. So with that being said, let's get into today's list, starting with the rookie. 7th-round rookie Spencer Anderson out of the University of Maryland. The thing with Spencer is that he just hasn't played center to this point in camp, right? He's looked pretty good at tackle, but right now you got LaRaven Clark and Dylan Cook, who have both looked pretty good in their own right. I look at the center position right now. Kendrick Green, Ryan McCollum, neither of those guys I think are particularly good at this point. And I look at a guy like Spencer Anderson who just started taking reps at center. So, is it possible that they sign another center here to back up Mason Cole and then they end up letting go of Spencer Anderson? I think it's possible. It surprised me because of how well he's played at tackle to this point and the versatility he's brought. But that's definitely a name to keep your eye on. Then another guy that I think would be a big surprise if he got cut was Chant Sullivan. Now, Sullivan is coming into the year as the presumed starting slot cornerback. Played with the Minnesota Vikings last season, formerly played with the Green Bay Packers as well. Last year was not a very good season for him, allowed a lot of yards, was very bad in coverage, was not a good fit for that Vic Fangio-style defense they ran in Minnesota. No interceptions, just 7 pass breakups as their starting slot. And this year he's coming in. I think Patrick Peterson's going to be playing a lot of nickel this year. And right now, that true slot position is between Chandon Sullivan and Elijah Riley. And here's the thing, man. Elijah Riley, converted safety, now a slot corner, has been making plays all over the place at Steelers training camp. And when I look at a guy like Elijah Riley, someone that is making a ton of really, really awesome plays right now, I'm looking at a guy that could end up taking a spot from Chandon Sullivan, who's had kind of a quiet camp. He's had some nice plays here and there, but, we saw last year, he gave up a lot of yards. He wasn't very sticky in coverage. And Elijah Riley brings some other things I think Chandon doesn't really bring to the table. I think Elijah is a better blitzer. I think he's a better run defender, being a former strong safety at 214 pounds. He's got really good size for a slot cornerback. So I look at a guy like Elijah Riley. I think he's got one hell of a shot to win this starting job. And how many slot corners are they really going to keep on this team? If Elijah wins that job, Chandon could be a surprising player to get the axe. But let me know who you think is going to be the starting slot corner for the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2023. If you think it's Chandon Sullivan, give me a CS. Or if you think it's going to be Elijah Riley, give me an ER down there in the comments section. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. So whenever YouTube throws you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds, take advantage of that time by answering today's pinned question. Sticking with the cornerback position here, James Pierre is another name that could definitely be a surprise cut candidate. Now, I'm not predicting that James gets cut because, he's been on this team. He's shown that he can be a really reliable backup corner in this league. But to this point in training camp, he's been very on and off. He's had good days. He's had bad days. And that preseason game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers was not a good day for James Pierre. Had multiple mental mistakes, allowed a touchdown. It just wasn't a good day optically for James Pierre. And right now they're bringing in a couple of new corners, Neville Clark, and then also Lavert Hill, who has a pretty nice pedigree, really good athlete. If one of these guys, or maybe even Madre Harper, really shows out in training camp, would it absolutely shock me if James Pierre ends up getting cut? No, it wouldn't. It would surprise me a bit because he has played in this defense. I think he's a really good backup corner, but would it shock me? No, it would not. Now, coming up here, I got more surprising Steelers cut candidates to break down with you guys today. But first, let's have a word from our sponsor at HexClad. All right, guys, it's time to talk about your kitchen. And no, I'm not talking about your roommate's dirty dishes that have been in the sink for the past week now. Today's sponsor, HexClad, has revolutionized the cookware industry with a hybrid pan that gives you all the convenience and cleanup of a nonstick, the versatility of your grandma's cast iron, and a lifetime warranty just in case you find a way to destroy it. Use promo code CHAT at hexclad.com/chat for 10% off today. HexClad truly checks every single box when it comes to picking your cookware. They're metal utensil safe, dishwasher safe, and oven safe up to 500 degrees. But don't just take my word for it, guys. Celebrity chef Gordon Ramsay uses these pans in his own home kitchen. This is what Gordon has to say about HexClad. The sear I can get with these pans is incredible with absolutely no stick. The temperature control is utter perfection, and the cleanup is effortless. I love using HexClad at home. And let me tell you guys, these pans are the sexiest pans on the market. I have brought my HexClad from home. And look at this thing, man. It is crystal clear. It is super clean, super easy cleanup. I pan fry steak and chicken on this probably 3-4 times a week. I make eggs on it on Sunday morning. It's absolutely fantastic for whatever you need, so you can seriously score some points at home with HexClad. It's time to stop ordering delivery food and start cooking like a big boy right now with HexClad in your kitchen. real cuisine isn't made in a microwave. It's cooked in a Hexclad. So for a limited time only, get 10% off with our special link, hexclad.com/chat. That's 10% off at hexclad.com/chat with code chat. The next name on my list of surprise cut candidates for the Pittsburgh Steelers, wide receiver Gunnar Olszewski. Now, I think since the start of the offseason, Gunnar's been on just about every single cut candidates list I have made, especially because you can save $2 million in cap space by letting him go. But the Pittsburgh Steelers seem to really like him as a special teams player. Now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans know all too well some of the special teams blunders that Olszewski has had in his tenure with the black and gold, and you really hope that doesn't rear its ugly head again here in 2023. But the reason why Gunnar might not end up make this roster this year is because the wide receiver room is pretty stacked, right? You got your top 3 starters there, Deontay Johnson, George Pickens, Allen Robinson. Calvin Austin III is really slotted in there as that number 4 guy. And it really seems like Miles Boykin and Hakeem Butler are really duking it out for that number 5 spot, and the Steelers might even keep a 6th wide receiver. So where does Gunnar really fit into that equation? Pretty much it would be as a special teams player. Now, right now, the 3 real contenders to be the punt return, kickoff return type player on the Steelers starts with Jordan Byrd, the undrafted free agent, got every single rep as a punt returner against the Buccaneers last Friday. A very explosive guy, but also he was placed number 3 on the depth chart at this position. So, how much is he really impressing in camp? And then there's Calvin Austin III, who could also be the team's punt return man this year. Was out all last year with a foot injury. But listen, anytime you can get Calvin Austin III in space, I think it's a good thing for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think he should be the starting punt return man heading into the year. And if that's the case, I think Gunnar Olszewski gets the boot. And then another player here that I think could be a surprise cut candidate a little bit is LaRaven Clark, someone that was brought in to be kind of a swing tackle, someone that's had quite a bit of experience in the National Football League to this point. But there's been a kind of a rising star, well, maybe not a star, but kind of a rising candidate to be that swing tackle option for the Steelers this year, and that's been Dylan Cook. Dylan Cook is somebody that hasn't played a lot of football in this league, has only played in the preseason. He was signed this year as kind of just like a waiver. Oh, we'll add him to the preseason roster, whatever. But he's shown some really nice foot speed this year, and in that game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he looked pretty dang good, man. And he looked a lot better than LaRaven Clark, who has been very, very disappointing to this point in training camp. And I think he's probably going to end up getting the boot come cut day. And then we get another cut candidate here in Quincy Roche, the edge rusher, somebody that a lot of people thought maybe would probably make the final 53-man roster this year, especially before the team signed Marcus Golden in free agency a couple of weeks ago. But, the big question for me is how many edge rushers are the Steelers really going to keep on this roster for the 2023 season? Most teams either carry 4 or 5, depending on how much value they get from that 5th player on special teams. Of course, right now you got TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith locked in as your number 1 and number 2 duo. Then you got Nick Herbig, who has been a big-time breakout player in training camp. He's going to be your first guy off the bench, in my opinion. And then you got Marcus Golden, the signee, formerly with the Arizona Cardinals. He's also going to be a rotation piece this year that's going to make the roster. So where's the room for Quincy Roche, who's a pretty decent run blocker, run defender, but, he's not much of a pass rusher at this point in his career, and I think that he could absolutely get the axe here if he's not careful and he doesn't have an impressive preseason here with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So how many outside linebackers do you think the Pittsburgh Steelers carry this season? Do you think they carry 4 or 5 with Quincy Roche? Let me know what you guys think by giving me a 4 or a 5 down there in the comments section. Then a free agent that they brought in that was kind of assumed to be someone that would definitely make the roster coming in was Armon Watts, the defensive tackle. But right now, the Steelers, they definitely have a conundrum on their hands because Isaiah Loudermilk has looked fantastic. Of course, you got your 3 starters there in Cam Hayward, Larry Ogunjobi, and Montravius Adams. And rumor has it the Steelers are going to be carrying all 3 of those nose tackles. Braden Fajoku and Keanu Benton are also expected to be on the 53-man roster. So with all those guys, there's just a couple of spots left, if any. And right now, DeMarvin Leal and Manny Jones, and of course, this guy here, Armon Watts, I think maybe one of them makes the roster, and somebody that was like Armon Watts, somebody that's a rotational pass rusher from the interior, you would think coming in that he was going to make the final 53, but right now that is definitely up in the air after he's been a little bit quiet to this point in training camp. Then the final cut candidate on my list for today's show, Nick Kwiatkowski. And when he was signed, I know that there's a lot of Nick Kwiatkowski fans in the comments section saying how good this guy was going to be coming into the year. And now the first initial unofficial depth chart here for the Steelers, he didn't even make our graphic. Now, of course, Chappelle Russell, who is on this graphic, no longer with the team, waived, cut, injured list, all these different things. And now Kwiatkowski assumingly takes his spot on the depth chart along with Forrest Ryan, another guy that they just signed this week. But I'm looking at this depth chart here, and I look at Cole Holcomb and Landon Roberts, Quan Alexander, absolutely 100% making this roster. Mark Robinson, somebody that's a thumper, I think is going to be a good backup for you that you're going to keep this year. And then Tanner Muse is going to be somebody that's going to be a good special teams player for you this year. And after that, I'm not sure if you're going to carry 6 linebackers on this final 53-man roster. They might try to keep him around as a practice squad player because I think he has some value as a coverage player. But at this point, I'm just not sure the numbers are Nick Kwiatkowski's favor. Now, that's going to be it for today's show, guys. Really do appreciate all the real ones that made it to the end of today's show. And finish things out here by subscribing to the channel, if you would, for me right away. We're going to be doing live watch parties for all the Steelers games this season, weekly live shows, and then also daily content for free here on the channel. If you want the best damn Steelers coverage on the planet, this is where you find it. Go ahead and click that subscribe button for me right now. Oh my gosh!
Oh, Andrew said Sperry.
Andrew said with a 50 and...
Don't worry, because I get 2 on you from Patty Gustafson! Bang! Oh, no, wait. This is from Diane Yanis! Bang! Sperry's grandma!
Woo!
Let's go!
Grammy,
Granny!
Oh my goodness, man. So we got a slap coming. And what?
You just got slapped by your grandma! Let's go!
I guess we got 2 Sperry slaps coming.
Grandma slap! Grandma slap!
Oh my
Grandma
goodness.
slap!
You guys are probably having way too much fun
Let's
right now.
go!
All right, so I got 1 slap of Jeremy. Jeremy's slapping me twice.
Oh, this is electric.
We probably need another tortilla.
Also, we're $10 away from 400. If somebody sends in a 10, two beans for a 10.
Yeah, we'll do 2 beans for a 10. All
We're
right,
10
let's
away
get to
from 400.
Let's get to 400 today.
But can we get some grandma slaps in the chat?
Grandma slaps. Grandma slaps. Grandma slaps. Grandma slaps. Well, my mom says that my grandma doesn't have an account yet. Okay, boomer. But she will. Get that figured out, Grandma. Come on. Appreciate the support. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We got 61 real ones, true Yinzers in the chat. Type out real one in the chat. I want to give some shout outs here to all the real ones that are still here. Who are some of these Yinzers in here? Come on, baby. I need some real ones to show themselves. We got DJ KJ, we got Brian Love, we got CM Punk, we got Steelers Dad. We got a bunch of DJ KJs. We got Damian Roy. We got Andrew Longoria.
Do you know the reference?
What did the 5? Isn't that Brian Love?
Nope.
Oh, another one! Another 20 from Brian Love.
The real ones know that's from the Dave Chappelle skit with Rick James.
Oh yeah, that's right.
What did the 5 fingers say to the face?
Slap. I'm Rick James, bitch. All right. So he's got old Band-Aid. You're getting old Band-Aid. Oh, you know what? We got the 400 today, so we'll do 2 old Band-Aid ones. Oh, okay.
It's either old Band-Aid or
Pomegranate. Okay. All right, Brian, here's to you, my friend. $400 today. Oh. Dude, that one's the worst one, dude. It like makes you gag immediately. That's what she said.
Your grandma's watching.
What can I say, man? We're a crazy family.
How do you raise one crazy son?
Do we need a new tortilla?
Wait, she hates being called Granny?
Yeah, she hates being called Granny.
What do you
We call her Grandma.
Oh.
She's just Grandma.
All right. Are we getting a new tortilla?
All right, so I'll get my slap out of the way. Okay. Here we go, Steelers. All right. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. It's a respectable slap. Respectable slap. All right, this one's literally great. All right, this one's about to break on my face, but let's see. Got another 10. My mother. Who's doing? Oh, so yeah, who's doing the bees? Hey, all right, I gotta do one. I'm not gonna do old Band-Aid again today, man. That one is so bad. All right. Oh, so no mic? Am I out? Am I out?
Yep. Sperry's out right now.
Shout outs here while I figure it out.
All right, hold up. Hold up. Getting it worked out.
You got me? You got me, Jeremy?
Hold on one second. No, let me hear.
You
Go
good?
ahead.
Good?
Yeah, now you're good.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry. Sperry must have kicked out the cord.
That's my bad, guys. All right. Here we go. I got Booger right here. I'm not doing old Band-Aid again. I'm sorry. That one's just too bad. Oh. It was Booger, man. Oh.
Let's go. Let's go. So I think that's where we're going to leave it, especially because we're at 420, which is pretty dope.
That's a great way to finish the night, man. That's a great way to finish it.
Just a reminder, no live watch party this weekend. Next weekend, there will be a live watch party for Steelers-Falcons for the
Correct.
third preseason game, and then the regular season.
Every
single game watch party. If you're pumped for the Steelers regular season, type me in the chat right now.
Type me and make sure you're subscribed. I have a feeling that most of the 58 real ones in the chat are already subscribed, but if you haven't already, we're going to be going live for that Falcons preseason game. Unfortunately, I do have a wedding I have to attend on Saturday. Terrible date, but I mean, that's the way it goes sometimes. We're going to have a great time. We're still going to have post-game coverage for you guys, so make sure you turn on those notifications for that post-game video against the Bills. I'm going to miss you guys a ton. It's going to be a whole week with no live shows, which is going to suck, but
Until next Wednesday.
it's just until next Wednesday, man. We'll be back next Wednesday. Thank you to all the real ones that made it to the end of today's show.
Oh yeah, Brian.
Big shout out.
420, always a great way to finish your night.
It is, and then a big shout out to Andrew Longoria, real one today. My mother, Patty Gustafson, real one today. Brian Love, Mo Love, Elliptic 6, all the Steelers Talk Gold Club members out there. Thank you guys so much for your support. We will catch you guys later in the week. Have a good one, guys.